Big breaking news coming in a security lapse that could have major repercussions. A terror suspect belonging to the Indian Mujahideen today went missing from a Mumbai court. The suspect, Afzal Usmani, disappeared this afternoon from a special court where he'd been brought for framing of charges. He reportedly was not seen after lunch. His arrest in 2008 led investigators to the Mumbai module of the Indian Mujahideen and its role in terror cases. Police say Usmani was a car thief who provided vehicles and bombs for the 2008 Ahmedabad and Surat blasts. Now this setback comes just weeks after the arrest of Indian Mujahideen co-founder Yasin Bhatkal 3 weeks ago, which was considered to be a spectacular success for Indian security agencies. Joining me now is my colleague from Bombay, Miloni. Miloni, it's a huge security lapse here. What are the police saying actually happened?
Police are not saying much at this point in time. I can just tell you the sequence of events. There were a couple of reporters in court because they were tracking this case of the Indian Mujahideen email case, as it is called. 23 of the accused were brought to court because there was the charges in this case were to be framed. And that is when at around 2:30, when the court reopened, that the police realized that Afzal Usmani was not amongst those accused. The court asked, where is he? And they said, well, he seems to have gone missing. That is when it came to light that Afzal Usmani had probably fled the court premises. Now, he was brought to the court by the local arms division of the Mumbai Police because that is their task, to escort all these people to court. He was in court. There was a kind of a police presence, but obviously it was lax because that's how he seemed to have slipped past. Sarah?
So the Mumbai Police, you're saying, was responsible for bringing him to court. So right now this is the responsibility of the Mumbai Police, Miloni?
Well, yes, the Mumbai Police is now tracing him, and there are teams which are out there which are trying to locate where he is. And right now, though, I must say that none of the top brass of the Mumbai Police is actually saying much on it, except for the fact that, yes, he has slipped away.
All right, Miloni, I mean, it's clearly a very shocking case in terms of security. Just give us some background about Afzal Usmani. We know he's an accused in the 08 Ahmedabad and Surat blast, and that his arrest led to a chain reaction of many high-ranking IM operatives. What can you tell us about him?
Well, Afzal Usmani was picked up in 2008 from in the UP, and as you said, he was accused of actually using stolen cars and giving them out to ensure that bombs were planted. And, you know, he has been accused in these cases of the Ahmedabad and the Surat blast, but the bombs did not actually go off. It was Usmani's arrest and later on his interrogation which had also led to a lot of evidence that police claimed they got in strengthening their case against the Indian Mujahideen. Sarah.
All right, Miloni, again, I mean, we just want to go back to this actual story. You're saying 23 accused were brought to court, and all of a sudden, after lunch, the authorities say that Afzal Usmani was missing amongst the 23.
Well, yes, Sarah, what happened is that today they were going to frame the charges in the IM email case, as it is called, here in this court. Now, this was a case in which after every blast, there used to be some emails which would be sent either to media houses or to, you know, agencies. And the gist of the email would be, you know, we're going to do this again. So when the police investigated this case, they had found links to all of these people. So that's what this case is called. The charges in this particular case were to be framed this afternoon. The police brought 23 of the accused, and they were here at the special MCOCA court in Mumbai, which is housed inside the Sessions Court. The Sessions Court is in Churchgate at VT. And what happened is that at 2:30, after the court reopened and reassembled, the police realized that Afzal Usmani, one of the accused, had gone missing.
All right, Miloni, clearly the police will have a lot of questions to answer, but let's just go across to my other colleague, Srinivasan Jain, who's also on the phone line. Vasu, put this into perspective for us. How much of a setback is this for the authorities?
Well, this is obviously a huge setback because Afzal Usmani is somebody who was key player in the unraveling of the entire Indian Mujahideen network. Remember, it was his arrest way back in 2008, which led the police, the Mumbai crime branch specifically, to make a series of arrests, arresting key members of the Mumbai, Maharashtra module of the Indian Mujahideen, who were responsible for a number of blasts that happened through the country that particular year. Now, Afzal Usmani's role was that of someone as a car thief, where he has a background in organized crime, but also the police claim got radicalized and was drawn to the jihadist group. He was the one who supplied 2 vehicles that transported the bombs that were used in Ahmedabad to deadly effect, but were also used in Surat. Fortunately, the bombs didn't go off. And now the police claim that, and this is mentioned in the charge sheet, that he was not somebody who just transported the bombs, but he was also involved in the planting of the bombs in both those locations. So he was someone who was a fairly critical figure in the IM network, and as I said, more importantly, because he actually helped, or his arrest helped crack the entire network. Now, just to also point out the atmosphere or the environment in which these IM members are being produced in court, as somebody who has attended those hearings earlier this year, I can tell you that the security environment is extremely lax, very, very casual. These men have been coming to court now for the past 5 years. They've been also sent to other states. There's an air of informality about it. They come, they attend the hearing. As they file out, their families are waiting for them. The police step back, they mingle with their families. Food is brought to them, they eat some food, meet their children or other relatives. And then, in that same casual way, they're loaded back onto the jail van and taken back to prison. Now, it's in this environment that I've actually had a chance to interact with some of them, including Afzal Usmani, as it happens. And as I said, it testifies to the fact that this is not the kind of sterile, secure atmosphere with which you're supposed to produce terror accused in court. This could be the general atmosphere of most other sessions courts where under trials are brought and taken back in this informal way, but certainly not for those who are serious accused for serious terror cases. And therefore, in some ways, it's not surprising that somebody like Usmani has managed to get away, and till we get a clearer explanation of what has happened, the police will have some very serious explaining to do.
There's some fascinating details there you provided, Vasu, with all your experience of covering such stories, because certainly for the Aam Aadmi, they would just be shocked to hear of this. So again, put this in context. Could the police have just not expected something like this to happen? They bring 23 men to court and then they're just caught by surprise and one of them suddenly disappears?
Well, as I said, the police, the less said the better about what they expect or not expect to happen, given the environment in which these men are being produced. So what I'm trying to make the point here is that given that sort of very lax environment in which these men have been shipped in and out of court, it isn't surprising that something like this has happened. There wasn't that kind of careful vigilance. There wasn't that kind of careful shepherding of them in and out of court. Obviously, handcuffs and chains and other forms of being able to contain them is not permitted. But certainly there could have been other ways of ensuring that there is a greater stringency in the whole process. But that, as I can tell you, is not the case either for Afzal Usmani or indeed for all the other Indian Mujahideen accused, all of whom, as I said, have been coming in and out of court in this very unsupervised way. So perhaps taking use of that confusion, and remember, as Meloni said, the Sessions Court in near Churchgate is an extremely crowded, busy place, as are all Indian courts. Could he have slipped away? Could there be a conspiracy here? We simply don't know at this stage. But as I said, this was in some ways a disaster waiting to happen.
All right, Srinivasan Jain and Meloni Bhatt reporting on the latest setback that's come to the security forces just 3 weeks after the arrest of Indian Mujahideen co-founder Yasin Bhatkal. Thanks so much, both of you, for joining us on this story.